Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the 10th Chancellor of Southern University at New Orleans, and by the authority vested in me by the Southern University Board of Supervisors and President of the Southern University System, I hereby declare the spring commencement of Southern University at New Orleans in the year 2026 officially open. To the members of the Board of Supervisors who are with us today, to other distinguished platform guests, to our faculty, administration, staff, family and friends of our graduates, and to you, our special VIPs, the candidates of the graduating class of 2026, it is my pleasure on behalf of the entire UNO family to welcome you to this historic graduation ceremony. Before we begin, one housekeeping chore. I would like to request that everyone silence their cell phones so that we may honor our graduates with our undivided attention. Would everyone please rise as we present the colors by our New Orleans Police Department for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, which will be led by Mr. Randolph Thomas, a SUNO graduate from the class of 2008 and a member of this graduating class. Mr. Thomas is accompanied by the Warren Eastern Charter High School Concert Band. Following the Star-Spangled Banner, our invocation will be offered by the Reverend Fred Luder Jr., Senior Pastor of the Franklin Avenue Baptist Church. Please come in that order.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof that our flag was still
Let us remain standing for the invocation. Our Father and our God, Master, what an incredible joy and privilege it is for us to be here this morning to share in this celebration of the students of Southern University of New Orleans. Thank you, Lord, for Chancellor Boyd. Thank you for the Board of Supervisors. Thank you for the faculty and the staff. And most of all, God, we thank you for these graduates who will be crossing this stage today because of all the things that they have accomplished. Bless every family member
every loved one, every individual that takes part in this service today. Give them what they need to do what their school has asked them to do. And God, when it's all said and done, so very careful to give your name all praise, all glory, and all honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in thanking our New Orleans Police Department, Mr. Randolph Thomas, the exceptional Warren Easton Charter High School Concert Band, and the Reverend Fred Luter Jr., my spiritual leader. We thank you all for your participation in this event. At this time, we will have a musical selection by the Voices of Suno, directed by Mr. Randolph Thomas and led by Mrs. Cassandra Thomas. You may sit down. Pastor Luder would say, let the church say. We want to thank the voices of SUNO, Mrs. Cassandra Thomas and Mr. Randolph Thomas, for that most inspirational music selection. How about another round of applause for that installation? We're going to church sure enough now. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker this morning is without question a living legend. I'm speaking of no one other than Chief Justice Bernette Joshua Johnson, retired. Bernette Joshua Johnson is a distinguished American lawyer and jurist who serves as Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court, the highest judicial office in the state of Louisiana. Justice Bernette Johnson attended Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, on an academic scholarship, where she received a Bachelor's of Arts degree. She was one of the first African-American women to attend the law school at Louisiana State University, where she received her Juris Doctorate degree in 1969. She was honored by her law school in 1996, where her portrait was unveiled and she was inducted into the LSU Law Center's Hall of Fame. Chief Justice Johnson is the proud parent of two industrious adult children, a son David, an accountant who lives in Atlanta, Georgia with his family, and a daughter Rachel, who is a district court judge for the Orleans Parish Court. Chief Justice was elected to serve on the Louisiana Supreme Court in 1994 and was re-elected without opposition in 2000. In 2013, she became the Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court and served until her retirement in 2020. Chief Justice Johnson's service is the culmination of over 3 decades as a distinguished jurist and a 26-year career on the state's highest court. Chief Justice Johnson served as the 25th Chief Justice in the court's history, the first African-American Chief Justice, and only the second female Chief Justice to hold that position. Throughout her tenure, she was known for her commitment to fairness, constitutional integrity, and access to justice. She frequently addressed issues involving sentencing equity, judicial accountability, and the historical legacy of discrimination with the legal system. Her recognitions and honor are too voluminous to mention them all, but among them include the following. She's received numerous awards from legal associations, civil rights organizations, universities, and national judicial bodies for her groundbreaking leadership. She has been recognized not only for being an historic first, but for being a force of principled jurisprudence. Her leadership strengthened public trust in the courts, expanded conversations around racial equity in sentencing, and elevated Louisiana's judiciary on the national stage. Beyond awards, her greatest recognition is this. She left the bench with integrity intact, history made, and doors permanently open. In naming just a few of our key honors and awards, Chief Justice Johnson is the recipient of numerous highly coveted awards, such as the Margaret Brent Women's Lawyers of Achievement Award by the American Bar Association, the Medal of Honor presented by the Mayor of the City of New Orleans, the Woman of Wonder Award by the National Council of Negro Women, the first ever Ernest M. Morial Award presented by the New Orleans Legal Assistance Corporation, the Distinguished Jurist Award presented by the Louisiana Bar Association, the Spirit of Excellence Award for the American Bar Association's Commission on Racial and Ethnic Diversity in the Profession. The National Bar Association inducted her into the NBA Hall of Fame, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Unsung Hero Award presented by LSU. Chief Justice's legacy extends beyond court opinions and ceremonial titles. how leadership reshaped expectations of who can sit at the highest levels of judicial authority in Louisiana. She helped mentor emerging lawyers and judges, particularly women of color and people of color, demonstrating that excellence and perseverance can dismantle long-standing barriers. Her voice in the judiciary reinforced that justice must not only be applied, but examined, ensuring that the law serves all citizens fairly and without bias. Her impact continues to influence legal scholarship, judicial training, and public conversations about fairness and equality in Louisiana and across this nation. The recent release of her book, Behind the Gavel, Lessons from a Black Woman Chief Justice, will definitely institutionalize her brilliance and judicial journey. Bernette Johnson did not simply wear the robe, she carried its weight. She rose in a system that was not designed for her, persisted in rooms that were not built for her, and led an institution that once would not even imagine that she would be there. And she did not whisper her leadership, she declared it. She stands as proof that justice bends when courage refuses to bow. She stands as proof that representation is not symbolic, it is structural. She stands as proof that when excellence meets preparation, history must make room. And so her legacy is not just in opinions written, but in futures rewritten. Louisiana judicial history has chapters, many chapters, but because of her, it now has a turning point. And that turning point has a name, and that name is Bernette Joshua Johnson, Chief Justice, our Spring 2026 Commencement Speaker and living legend. Please join me as we welcome her to this 2026 commencement.
Thank you so much. Sunshine in here, isn't there? It's still a good morning. Good morning to Chancellor Bowie and to the Southern University at New Orleans faculty and staff, to all of the family and friends, and more importantly, to the graduating class of 2026. It's my honor to be here with you today for this momentous occasion. Today we're here to celebrate your achievements. You've worked long and hard to reach this milestone. And today is your day to be recognized for your dedication and success. And so we give you another round of applause. Where you are right now, sitting in your seats, wearing your caps and gowns, is a tremendous achievement. It means that you did the work, you wrote the papers, completed the projects, studied for exams, and did everything that was necessary to earn the degrees that will be conferred today. Your university promotes upward mobility for a diverse population and has many non-traditional students. For many, you are preparing for second careers, while some students are fresh out of high school. Many of you are adults with children and family obligations, and you have to juggle all of those while attending classes and preparing for exams. So we are here today to also congratulate your support system, the parents, the spouses, the children who contributed to your success. But what this achievement truly means is that you have completed a chapter in your lives, that you're now prepared to move forward and write your own next chapter. That, my friends, is quite an achievement. The truth is, the hard work it takes to ensure that our society remains diverse and thrives is never truly complete. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. In some corridors, those are now dirty words. There are not many businesses and universities in America who still espouse toward diversity, equity, and inclusion, but I'm happy to see that SUNO is intentional in its efforts to foster inclusion and diversity. You must continue to add your own wisdom and experience to society. I encourage you to dive into the next chapter of your lives head on, whether you pursue another degree or begin a career. And take along with you all of the lessons you have learned from your studies here at SUNO, as well as from your life experiences. Not one other person on earth has lived your life. You must use your individuality to create a better future for yourselves and for those who will follow in your footsteps. I have to tell you this. We recite the Pledge of Allegiance at most public events, but there are many people in America now who have not accepted that this is one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. They call themselves Christian conservatives, but they are in truth and in fact white supremacists, and some are not ashamed to admit it publicly, that their main focus is to restore supremacy of the white race in America. When they get together on golf courses, when they sit around the tables at retreats and think tanks, the focus is how do we turn the clock back? We have seen this pushback more clearly since we elected Barack Obama, the first black president of the United States. The privilege of your diploma carries with it a duty to uphold the principles our nation was founded upon and to help create a better society. I want to thank Chancellor Bowie, who served admirably as a state legislator. He was always an advocate for education. Many of the benefits you enjoy on this day are the result of Chancellor Bowie's service in the legislature. I do not need to tell you that these are different times in Baton Rouge and at the state legislature. There are bills pending in the legislature filed by Senator Morris from Monroe, Louisiana, to reduce the number of judges in Orleans Parish only. What is significant is that he does not suggest that we reduce the number of judges in Ouachita Parish, where he's from. The governor has already signed a bill to eliminate the office of the clerk of criminal district court here in New Orleans after Mr. Calvin Duncan was elected by an overwhelming majority at the polls. I can tell you that I have personally benefited from Chancellor Bowie's support of judges and the judiciary. I know firsthand how hard the judges in this state work, often facing severe criticism of them in our justice system. And judges do not have the luxury of going out and standing on the courthouse steps to explain a judgment rendered. Judicial ethics prevent us from doing so. Nationwide, judges are under attack, and we must depend on lawyers, educators, and others in the community to explain what we do. I need not tell you, we are witnessing today an unprecedented attack on the right to vote. And these attacks are not new. I'm sure that Chancellor Bowie invited me here today to share with you something about my history. There are some states in America when African American has never served on the Supreme Court. I grew up in New Orleans when the schools were segregated by race, and despite Brown against Board of Education, the schools were still segregated when I graduated from high school. The old doctrine of separate but equal allowed school boards to provide less funding and fewer material to their black students and allowed them to pay back black teachers less. We were required to file lawsuits in all 64 parishes in order to get judgments to address this inequity. We were required to file lawsuits to desegregate LSU and all the universities in the state. When I arrived at LSU Law in September of 1965, there had not been a black student enrolled in 10 years. Despite all the roadblocks, I still rose to the office of Chief Justice and became the 21st Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court. In that role, I chaired court conferences, I spoke at the legislature to advocate for inadequate funding for the state judiciary. I, in fact, was a CEO of the entire state judicial system from 2013 until my retirement in 2020. Was it easy? No, it was not. I got to the Supreme Court in October of 1994 and faced legal challenges from January of 1995 through 2013, when we were required to go back to the federal district court to ask a judge to enforce the provisions of the Supreme Court consent decree. Which brings me to the importance of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And I'm sure that Congressman Troy Carter will tell you some more about this. 1986, 40 years ago, Mark Morial, Marie Bookman, Walter Willett, Mr. Ron Chisholm, they all filed a lawsuit challenging the way we elect justices to the Supreme Court. Had they not filed this lawsuit, we still might have a Supreme Court composed entirely of 7 white men. Does inclusion matter? Yes, it does. We deserve to have courts that include women and racial minorities. Courts should reflect the communities they serve. When I got to the Supreme Court, I was able to bring concerns of the minority community to every discussion. And you can see it in my writings. We call them opinions and dissents. I was always concerned about inequities in our society, particularly in Louisiana, the prison population. Louisiana is number 1 in the nation in the numbers of people that we incarcerate. African Americans make up 1/3 of the population and 70% of the prison population. Does it make a difference that we have black prosecutors and judges? Of course it does. The district attorney determines who will be charged with an offense and who will get a pass. Following the recent Supreme Court decision of Louisiana against Calais, we are seeing further attacks on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act because our legislature is now preparing to redraw the congressional districts. States are now allowed by the Calais case to consider politics but not race, which means that Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act no longer requires that minorities have a fair opportunity to elect a candidate of their choice. This latest decision allows any state to systematically dilute the voting power of minority citizens. And just since this last decision, the state of Tennessee has adopted a plan that will break up the city of Memphis and spread its voters across Republican leading districts with the express intent of removing any possibility of electing a black congressman from Tennessee. All of these current attacks on the right to vote remind me how important it is that we participate in the voting process. If voting was not important, we would not be seeing these kinds of attacks. And what we're dealing with is not new. And of course, you can go back to history and look at the population of voters and what southern states have done over the years to disenfranchise black voters. Back in the 1870s in Mississippi, after sending 2 black senators to Washington, they decided to call a constitutional convention. And after the convention, those first elected officials were removed from office. All of the other states, southern states, followed Mississippi with conventions and created all kinds of restrictions on voting, poll taxes because they expected we didn't own real estate, literacy tests, grandfather clause. The grandfather clause just permits anyone to vote whose grandfather was qualified to vote before the Civil War, which expressly excluded black folk. The Constitutional Convention in Mississippi cut black enrollment from 147,000 to 8,600. South Carolina, a state where 60% of the total population was black, it resulted in only 5,500 black voters. And of course, you want to know what happened here in Louisiana after we adopted the Constitution in 1898. I want to talk about the Ramos case. My daughter says, don't give them all that legalese. In Louisiana, after this Constitution in 1898, the number of black voters plummeted from 130,000 to 5,000. And the same thing happened in Virginia, Alabama, and all across the South. It was not until the 1965 Voting Rights Act that we were finally able to register black folk in significant numbers. In fact, we added about 400,000 black registrants. I won't talk about Shelby County against Holder. That's the lawsuit that gutted the Voting Rights Act by eliminating pre-clearances. We might have some lawyers in the room. The Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act says you've got to get pre-clearance before you can change any of your election procedures. Shelby County against Holder says, well, all that's now history. They're going to do the right thing. They told us they're going to do the right thing. We're going to trust them. So we're not going to require pre-clearance anymore. And this recent case is just another attempt to gut the Voting Rights Act and gut and diminish the number of folk who vote in America. Now, you all are, I'm sure, part of that information age. I guess some of you may even be texting as we go. Everybody has a gadget in their hands or in their pockets, and this is how you find out what's happening from any moment in time. But with all that information, we are less informed. I would argue that just as much as we are connected by the availability of constant real-time information, we are divided as well because everybody espouses their own opinion, which may or not be true. The public's opinion goes viral, spreading all over the country. and world without regard to whether it's true, whether it has any integrity. If all of you in this room get your information from social media, then you're exposed to the same daily dose of rumors and hoaxes and conspiracy theories and misleading stories on Facebook and Instagram. But it's your obligation, everyone here, particularly these graduates, you must be willing to do your part to find out what's true. You must do your part to narrow the gap between the promise of our founding principles and the reality. Our Constitution affords us the right to choose to accept a political landscape that does not include division and conflict. If you have not registered to vote, I encourage you to go online and register today. Or if you're old school like me, you can go in person on Monday. We have an election on Saturday, May 16th. You have to decide that you will be one of those model voters, those folk who show up at the polls no matter what's on the ballot, and you are prepared to do what you have to do to be a model citizens. Today, we celebrate your graduation with your families and friends. You've earned it. But tomorrow is your responsibility, your opportunity to participate in your own government and to fulfill your civic duty. I have a few other comments, and then I'll take my seat because I know most of you have lunch reservations at Dookie Chase and other places, and we don't want to keep you past that. My last point to you is this. There are some people in America who will say the Pledge of Allegiance, but they do not truly believe that we are one nation under God. And what we have to do to form a more perfect union is participate in the political process, and by that I mean you need to vote and you need to be actively involved in your communities. Congratulations to every one of you, and as I said, I think Chancellor Bowie just wanted you to know that this is a state that had a black Chief Justice.
Thank you, Chief Justice Johnson, for your wisdom, your courage, and it should be easy for us to connect the dots now, because much of what Chief Justice spoke about in 65 and 64 and 54 are the same things we're faced with as challenges today. So we thank you for sharing with us today. On behalf of the entire Southern University New Orleans family, we are honored to present a special gift, a commemorative painting entitled Our Story, Our Struggle, Our History, created and presented by a UNO alumnus, class of 2020, Mr. Ted Ellis. While Mr. Ellis could not be with us in person today, he prepared a special message. Please direct your attention to the screens as we unveil this meaningful tribute.
Hello. First, I'd like to acknowledge Chancellor Dr. Joseph Bowie of Southern University at New Orleans, as well as acknowledge our distinguished commencement speaker, Chief Justice Bernette Joshua Johnson, who's retired, and to all our graduates, faculty, family, and friends gathered here today. My name is Ted Ellis. I'm a proud graduate of Southern University at New Orleans, class of 2020, with a master's degree in museum studies, and I'm currently serving as the director of the Civil Rights Institute at Florida State University. As an artist, educator, and visual historian, my work has always centered on preserving and telling the story of African American history, culture, and lifestyle that shows resiliency and achievement. The artwork, Our Story, Our Struggle, Our History, represents the journey of a people who refuse to let their voices, sacrifices, and contributions be forgotten. It is a visual testimony of the endurance of African Americans through slavery, segregation, civil rights, and the continuing pursuit of justice and equality. The phrase, our story, reminds us that history is deeply personal. It belongs to families, communities, and generations whose lives have labored and helped build this nation. Our struggle speaks to the perseverance of faith and courage required to overcome injustice and systematic barriers. Our history affirms that Black history is American history, a living legacy of sacrifice, leadership, creativity, and hope. This work is intended to inspire reflection, pride, and responsibility. It reminds us that every generation has a duty not only to remember the past, but also to continue shaping a more just and compassionate future for those who follow. So graduates, congratulations. Chief Justice Johnson, thank you for your lifelong service. And Chancellor Bowie, continue with your superb leadership in leading the future forward at Southern University at New Orleans. Thank you. So, first I'd like to acknowledge
Mr. Ted Ellis is also a graduate of our museum studies program, as he said. Chief Justice Johnson, please join me at the podium. In addition to that piece that we felt truly exemplified your service and dedication and struggles to fight for social and economic justice, we'd like you to accept this Crystal Award as a symbol of our deepest appreciation for serving as our 2026 commencement speaker. One more round of applause for our Chief Justice for your service to our state and our nation. At this time, I now invite Dr. Willie Jones, Associate Vice Chancellor for Graduate Studies, to the podium for the certification of master's degree candidates.
Will the candidates for the Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Science, and Master of Social Work degrees please stand? Vice Chancellor Cook, the graduate faculty has informed me that the candidates standing before you have completed all the requirements for their respective degrees in criminal justice, computer information systems, elementary education, special education, museum studies, and social work. I am therefore very pleased to recommend them to you today.
Chancellor Bowie, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Graduate and Professional Studies and the graduate faculty, I am pleased to certify that these candidates have completed all requirements of their respective graduate degrees. Therefore, I respectfully recommend that you confer upon them the appropriate graduate degrees, Masters of Arts, Masters of Science, Masters of Social Work, and Masters of Arts in Teaching. In the disciplines of criminal justice, computer information systems, museum studies, elementary and special education, and social work.
Upon the authority vested in me by the President of the Southern University System and the Southern University Board of Supervisors, upon certifications and recommendations of the appropriate faculty of the university, it is with pleasure that I confer upon you the master's degrees from Southern University at New Orleans with all rights, privileges, and honors. Master's degree candidates, you may now turn your tassels. and testimony of your achievements, I invite you to come to the platform to receive your diplomas, beginning with the College of Arts and Sciences, followed by the College of Business and Public Administration, the College of Education and Human Development, and the Millie M. Charles School of Social Work.
Byron A. Adams. Esperanzo M. Alexander. Taylor Bazile. Jacqueline W. Bowden Hawkins. Michael Brooks. Amani Campbell. Okay. Trinitra D. Carey. Michael Philip Cooper. Katrina C. Kraft. Darla D. Drake. Jeffrey Decree. Arani Folly Dow. Arani.
We gotta repeat it because they didn't.
Arani Foley Dow. Paige P. Fretwell.
I need you to say my name loud and clear since y'all left it off the program.
Okay. Kenny Galloway. Bryce J. Garrett. Sierra K. Getrich. Courtney Gerard. Chandra Louise Hall. Bianca L. Harris. Maisha Hart.
John Arkenroe, Daniel Isidore.
John M. Isidore. How you feeling? Justin D. Jackson. Shanoa Jones. Mark E. Jones. Molly A. Labar. Darren Kurt G. Lang. Tiffany McGee. Michelle Martin. Okay. Matthew? Yeah. Courtney Page Matthew. Nakia A. McCray. Brandon J. Meyer. Lanitha T. Park. Lanith T. Park. I got you. Troy A. Rose. Darylyn A. Richard. Alfred Richardson. Rocco Richardson. Dominique C. Rogers. Faith M. Smith. Cynthia Thomas. Randolph M. Thomas Jr. Elena T. Williams. Daquan Williams. He's okay. He's up. Yeah. Okay. Amy S. Bush. Okay. Museum Studies. Okay. Kaylin Daniels. Nick Aya Yes. Oh, she up now? Okay. Yes. Nakia Palmer. Renee J. Pierre.
I messed it up, but it's Anna.
Anna, okay. Anna Rodriguez. Paige M. Whip. David Womack. I think that's
Master of Science, Computer Information Systems. Emmanuel Ede. Arogya Hashid Gopu. Spandana Gopu. Joey Taylor. Yamini Nalangoda. Brittany Orr. Kewe Upolo. The son of Dr. Victor Upolo, former Chancellor of UNO. Taking a good picture. Taylor R. Williams.
Masters of Arts in Teaching with dual certification in elementary and special education. Lemuria Alexander. Letitia Lemire Everson. Masters of Social Work. Kermit Bro. Lakeisha S. Allen. Yolanda Berry. Cecily Bice. Kanijah Boyd. Jada Burrell. Jasmine Carey. Cass O'Castle. Zakia Chambers. Shakendra Christmas. Brianna T. DeCure. Janicia Dejon DeSalle. Jordan Drake. Evelyn C. Early Baptiste. Terica L. Emery. Robin D. Finity. Asia M. Gabrielle.
You say senior at the end of my name. After senior.
Winton J. Grady Sr. Eliska Rashawn Hall. Shalinda Harris. Cedrian Hawkins. Kimberly D. Henderson. Dewana Howard. Melvin Hunter. Courtney C. Jackson. Luan G. Jackson. Brenda L. Johnson. Ron C. Johnson. I love you too. Laterio O. Johnson. Tamia N. Johnson. Shamira Jones. Tawana Y. Jones. Jasmine M. Love. Kioka D. Lumpkin. I got you. LaDoya C. Macklin. Cynthia J. Morgan. Janae L. Osby. Unique Paul. Rachel. India S. Rochelle. Alicia Ridley.
You follow that?
Letitia Nicole Robertson Williams. Destiny N. Ross. Samantha Ross. Samantha Alicia Royal. Roxanne Russ. Brittany Ann Santiago. Janae Ann Smothers. Jacqueline Taylor. Toya D. Thompson. What's her name?
I would like for you to say it twice because of that just statement.
Erica M. Thorns. Jody N. Trevine. Kenrielle M. Williams. Lacey Williams. Rashida N. Williams.
Tamika Young.
Chancellor, we are now ready to award degrees to our undergraduate candidates and invite the deans to certify their degrees. Will the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Carl Johnson, please come forward?
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and the College of Arts and Science please stand? Vice Chancellor Cook, the faculty has informed me that the candidates standing before you have completed all the requirements for their respective degree in biology, criminal justice, cybersecurity, English, forensic science, health information management system, interdisciplinary studies, mathematics, and psychology. I am therefore very pleased to recommend them to you today.
Will the Dean of our College of Business and Public Administration, Dr. Iwe Ude, please come forward?
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Public Administration please stand? Vice Chancellor Cook, the faculty has informed me that the candidates standing before you have completed all the requirements for their respective degrees in Business Administration, Computer Information Systems, and Public Administration. I am therefore pleased to recommend them to you today.
Will the Dean of our College of Education and Human Development, Dr. Tanya Rose, please come forward?
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelors of Science in the College of Education and Human Development please stand? Vice Chancellor Cook, the faculty has informed me that the candidates standing before you have completed all the requirements for their respective degrees in Child Development and Family Studies and Educational Studies. I am therefore very pleased to recommend them to you today.
Will the Dean of our School of Nursing, Dr. Adrian Rowe, please come forward?
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in the School of Nursing please stand? Vice Chancellor Cook, the faculty has informed me that the candidates standing before you have completed all the requirements for the degree in nursing. I am therefore very pleased to recommend them to you today.
Will the Dean for the Milliam Charles School of Social Work, Dr. Patrice Centino, please come forward?
Will the candidates for the Bachelors of Social Work degree please stand? Vice Chancellor Cook, the faculty has informed me that the candidates standing before you have completed all the requirements for the Bachelors of Social Work degrees. I am therefore very pleased to recommend them to you.
Chancellor Bowie, on behalf of the faculty of Southern University at New Orleans and by the authority vested in me as Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer, I am honored to present the candidates for undergraduate degrees. These candidates have completed all academic requirements prescribed by the university, the Southern University System, and the state of Louisiana for the respective programs of study. Therefore, I respectfully recommend that you confer the appropriate undergraduate degrees upon the candidates in the disciplines of biology, public administration, child development and family studies, computer information systems, criminal justice, cybersecurity, English, psychology, forensic science, health information management systems, mathematics, interdisciplinary studies, business administration, educational studies, nursing, and social work. Chancellor Bowie, I present these candidates for the conferral of their undergraduate degrees.
Upon the authority vested in me by the President of the Southern University System and the Southern University Board of Supervisors, and upon certifications and recommendations of the appropriate faculty of the university, it is with pleasure that I confer upon you bachelor's degrees from Southern University at New Orleans with all rights, privileges, and honors. Graduates, you may turn your tassels and take your seats. And take your seats until you are called to the platform to receive your degrees.
I now have the honor of introducing the Chief Student Marshal for the Spring 2026 graduating class, summa cum laude graduate with the highest GPA, Ms. Anael Palafante. Ms. Palafante is a native of France, where she graduated from Jezac High School. She is the daughter of Ms. Corinne Robert and Mr. Jocelyn Palafante and the wife of Marcel Daniels. Anael is a nursing major with a 3.77 GPA. Upon graduation, Mrs. Palafante plans to begin her career as an RN, where she hopes to gain strong clinical experience and build a solid foundation in patient care. Her long-term goal is to advance her knowledge in nursing and become a CRNA. I invite the Southern University at New Orleans Chief Marshal, Anael Palafante, to the stage to receive her degree. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Southern University at New Orleans Spring 2026 graduate with the highest class average in Chief Student Marshal, Ms. Anael Palafante. I now ask all 37 cum laude graduates to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. Finally, I ask all 10 graduates with university honors to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. We applaud each of you for all of the extra hard work that you put into your studies to earn you these honors today. These academic honors will be with you forever. We also extend a very special congratulations to our first graduates of the Bachelor's of Cybersecurity, led by Program Director Dr. Kenneth Williams. Please stand, cybersecurity graduates. Thank you. In addition, we want to acknowledge all of the completers of our Louisiana Cyber Academy Certificate Program. Are any of you guys here today? If so, please stand, wave. Well, congratulations to all of our certificate program completers.
I now ask the deans, beginning with the College of Arts and Sciences, followed by the College of Business and Public Administration, College of Education, School of Nursing, and the School of Social Work, to proceed with calling the graduates to the dais to receive their diplomas.
Bachelor's of Arts, English. Paige N. Dillon. Mara M. Bell with honors.
Jarita C. Bennett. Bachelor of Arts Psychology. Destiny D. Beverly.
What's your name?
Okay, I got it. Myra Bradford. Alon Clark, magna cum laude. Alon Clark, magna cum laude. Capricia Davis. Niles J. Dillons, cum laude. Jaslyn L. Duplessis, cum laude. Brittany A. Everidge. Kaylin A. Franklin. Shamatria J. Gonzalez. Sierra A. Grayson. Savannah R. Hatley, cum laude. R.B. Holmes, cum laude. Jalen James, honors. Javier M. Jordan. Letitia Miles, cum laude. Jewel J. Lee, cum laude. Kiera Miller Lyons. Ann Nayobo. Nabuto. Jalen D. Osby. Casey L. Penn. Lyric Reed, honors. Ashley J. Robinson, cum laude. Renato S. Robinson. Derek Robinson Jr. Jakari L. Rogers, cum laude. Berenicia R. Scott. Cheyenne Smith, cum laude. Nicholas Smith. Peyton M. Smith, cum laude. Tierra D. Silvas, magna cum laude. Dominique Thomas. Daciana Van Norman. Casey D. Washington. Jewel Monique Winbush.
said Sonora.
Yeah.
You didn't put
No,
her
she said,
first
no,
name.
Joy. No, she wouldn't put it. Bachelor of Science Biology, J.C. J. Bell. Magna cum laude. Louis Bernette, cum laude. Okay. Jordan P. Harris, magna cum laude. Okay, who's that? McKenna J. Harris, magna cum laude. Oh, okay. Anna I. Hayward. Amani J. Jenkins, cum laude. Kiana C. Jesse.
She put that on there, but she's supposed to be honest.
Chantel M. Jones. Bobby LaSalle. Christelle Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Giovanni D. Sargent, Senior, with honors. Serene O. Starmont, magna cum laude. Christina A. Williams. Kristen A. Williams. Latavia L. Williams, magna cum laude. Taranisha Williams. We'll call you.
You got a dual degree? Wait a minute. Okay, but you're a dual major. Okay. So tell them that, no, you want to come back up again? You come back up again. Okay.
Just come back up with forensic science.
Orion A. Woolfolk. Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Catherine Beal. Eric C. Belfield. Latina Delahuse Smith. Anaja D. Dunn. Takesha Feast Revelle, magna cum laude. AJ Facion. Chantel R. Green. Kiara Hickerson, cum laude. Kaylin L. Jack. Tichelle Lawrence, cum laude. Shamika J. Martin. Renisha D. Martin. Roberta A. Missy Bandy, honors. Diamond Moore, honors. Peter D. Nelson. Amani Michelle Perry. Christelle Peacock.
magna cum laude. Onisha S. Russell, magna cum laude. Whitley Smith. Morris E. Thornton. Cynthia Turku, magna cum laude. Cannon Cantu, magna cum laude. Bachelor of Science, Cybersecurity. Brandon J. Gregory. Oh, yeah. Bachelor of Science, Forensic Science. Okay, I got it. Brandy Hardy, magna cum laude.
She says cybersecurity.
Okay. Janita C. Hedgewood, cum laude. Miriam Cornet, magna cum laude. Robert E. Washington, certificate of cybersecurity.
He wasn't supposed to be in that group. Certificate.
Bachelor of Science, Biology. I'm sorry.
Forensic science.
Forensic Science, I'm sorry. Louis Bernette, cum laude. Alea Johnson. Renard Johnson. Elizabeth A. Lesky, cum laude. Cindy Peacock.
I forgot the paper, but it's Diamond M. Raymond.
Yeah. Okay. Diamond M. Raymond. Brittany M. Sylvester.
Honors. Did you say honors?
Yeah, I was it.
Huh? She said that it wasn't a part of this here.
Okay. Brittany M. Sylvester Honors.
Okay.
Tamanika Walker. Latavia L. Williams, magna cum laude.
What's up, man?
What's up?
On the back.
Taranisha Williams. Orion A. Wolford.
Health Information Management System starting.
Okay, hold up, Doc. See when they call and they change this thing here, the candidate made a cum laude if they have honors. Everything they see here to be at F in it. So we gotta stop honoring what they wrote on here. Okay.
Bachelor of Science, Health Information Management System. Venus L. Ammon, magna cum laude. Rodale M. Anderson. Alexis Granderson. Precious McGee. Marshall Mitchell, cum laude. Kennedy Christine Stratton. Jaseline Toulousema. Rochelle Francine Porter, cum laude. Jillian Terry. Bachelor of Science Mathematics. Devin Daniels, magna cum laude. Kelly A. Martin, magna cum laude. F.L. Manu Falala, magna cum laude. Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies. Shantae Bailey. Kira C. Brown. Antoinette Davis. Jordan E. Flanagan. Brianna J. Garrett.
Okay, finish the rest of these. One tell. We're gonna finish the others. Step on the slide.
You can step behind you.
Harold Gordon. Deshaun J. Jones. Javante B. Lawrence. Janetta N. Randall. Tashana M. Robinson. Miriam Cornet, magna cum laude.
What do you call it? A mathematics add-on.
It's a mathematics add-on. Brittany M. Sylvester Honors.
BA Public Administration, Keron B. Ray. Posthumously.
We are saddened to share that Mr. Ron Blatcher Ray, a public administration major who was scheduled to graduate with the class of 2026, passed away on April 8th. Today, her degree will be awarded posthumously with and accepted by her daughter, John Monet Ray, a junior majoring in social work. John Monet, will you please come forward to accept this degree on behalf of your mother? And remember, once a night, always a night, your UNO family is here for you.
Montreal Frank, cum laude. Latrice Amor, cum laude.
This is administration.
This Bachelor of Science, Business Administration. Angela R. Banks. Joshua Blanco. Let's wait. Miles Bowens. You got your seat. Joshua Carter.
They put their initial on there on purpose. They said the whole thing.
Leslie I. M. Carter. Congratulations. Andrell Chamberlain. Renee A. Frazier. Jamira I. Hampton. Tracy C. Jessamy. cum laude. Dearion C. Johnson. I'm done. Eddie W. Johnson. Lorna Mokenso Nzefudo Bekale, cum laude. Wendell S. Monroe. Congratulations. Peyton R. Perry. Frank Reyes. Cum laude. What's your paper? Kais Wilkerson.
Take your time, Sierra. Take your time.
Tony White. Caleb M. Williams, magna cum laude. Kion M. Yassen. Bachelor of Science, Computer Information Systems, Colby E. Jackson. Dustin B. Johnson, cum laude. Zaire McNeil, cum laude. Jason Rossell. We're done already. Time to go home.
College of Education and Human Development, Bachelor of Arts in Child Development and Family Studies, Jacqueline M. Davis. Nakia Fairley. Raquel Robbins, magna cum laude.
Honors that gave me my core. Shakira, what's the pronunciation?
Shakira N. Stockman, honors. Mackenzie N. Taylor, cum laude. Destiny Thompson, honors. Jillian Wilkes. Shaquante J. Williams. Bachelor's of Science in Educational Studies. Rochelle D. Curo. Tamia Deal. Kerrigan D. Edmondson. With honors. Caleb J. Gabriel, magna cum laude. Roberta F. Gaines. Alina Augustine Guidry. Latondra Huey. Dylan L. Jimenez. Otho L. Johnson. Cornice M. Jones, cum laude. Brittany Knighton. Amari LaRoche Mayberry Honors.
Layla Leite Downs. Layla Leite Downs. Yeah, at the end Downs.
Layla Leite Dowish, cum laude.
Ali.
Eiley A. Ray, magna cum laude. Whitney A. Roan. Dalia M. Sherrod, magna cum laude. Jasmine Stewart. Zachary E. Varela. Rochelle L. Woodfork.
Aronell Baldwin. School of Nursing, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Fallon Benoit, magna cum laude. Nelly DK, magna cum laude. Migel Doyle, magna cum laude. Abigail Escobar Padilla, cum laude. Twyla Frank, cum laude.
The middle initial say that too. Okay.
Raquel L. Guidry, cum laude. Londrell T. Jones. Amari M. Landor, cum laude. Tiana Landry, cum laude. Jada T. McAlmont. Sierra Gabrielle Perique. Caitlin Brianna Pitts, magna cum laude. Breon B. Smith, cum laude. Kenesha D. Smith, cum laude. Shanice M. White. Veronica L. Williams, cum laude.
Bachelor of Social Work. Dewan A. Allen. Magna cum laude. Ariana N. Boudreau. Mari Burks. Divine L. Edgerson. Aisha B. Holmes, cum laude. Maja T. King. Asia M. Lewis, magna cum laude. Rajanae Pleasant, cum laude. Lauren A. Stewart. Trishawn B. Wade, magna cum laude. Rashad G. Williams.
Let's hear it for the class of 2026. And now, as we conclude the conferring of degrees and celebrate the remarkable achievement of the class of 2026, we turn our attention to a special message from a distinguished leader, advocate, and champion of the people of Louisiana. United States Congressman Troy Carter could not be with us today in person, but he sent a video with a special charge to you, the class of 2026.
Hello, I'm Congressman.
Oh, first.
Hello, I'm Congressman Troy Carter, proudly representing the 2nd Congressional District of Louisiana. Southern University, New Orleans, class of 2026. This is not just a graduation. This is a declaration that you have made it, a declaration that sacrifice was worth it, a declaration that your story is still being written. And let me tell you something. The world you're graduating into needs you now more than ever. Not next year, not someday, right now. SUNO has always been more than a university. Southern University at New Orleans has been a lifeline for launching pad and a beacon of opportunity for generations of people who were told no, found a way to say yes anyway. This institution was built in the spirit of perseverance, built in the spirit of Black excellence, built in the spirit of people who refuse to quit. And now that torch has been placed in your hands. Class of 2026, hear me well. You're graduating at a time when people are actively trying to rewrite history, silence voices,
weaken voting rights, and roll back hard-fought progress that generations bled for, marched for, prayed for, and yes, died for. Never forget, the Voting Rights Act is not ancient history. Many of your parents and grandparents were alive before these protections even existed. Progress is never permanent unless somebody is willing to protect it. That somebody is you. To the graduates in social work, you're entering a world full of pain, trauma, addiction, homelessness, and mental health crises. But you also carry the power to heal, restore, and save lives. Never underestimate the impact of listening to someone who feels invisible. To the educators, you're not just teaching subjects, you're shaping futures. Some child will walk into your classroom carrying fear, hunger, insecurity, hopelessness, and your words may become the first light they've ever seen. Never forget that power you hold. To nurses, you choose a profession rooted in compassion and courage. Long after applause fails, you will still be there caring for people on their worst days. Your hands will heal. Your presence will comfort. Your knowledge will save lives. The criminal justice and political science graduates, fight for fairness, fight for truth, fight for justice, challenge broken systems, speak for people who have been ignored, overlooked, and pushed aside. Do not become comfortable with injustice simply because it has become common. And never, ever forget that you are loved. At every graduate, you are earning a degree in business, cybersecurity, mathematics, psychology, biology, computer information systems, forensic science, or any other discipline. Do not just chase success, chase significance. Anybody can make money, but not everyone can change lives. Somewhere in this graduating class is a future mayor, a scientist, a teacher, a CEO, a judge, a groundbreaking entrepreneur, a member of Congress, and yes, maybe even the next Dr. Martin Luther King or the next president of the United States. I believe that with everything that I am. And let me remind you, titles do not define greatness. Today, people call me congressman, but at my core, I'm still the little boy that grew up in the cutoff of Algiers, the youngest of 6 children, raised by a praying school teacher mom, a hard-working woman who taught us the importance to believe in God and pray for ourselves, work hard, and serve others. I have won some battles and I have lost some too, but every setback taught me something very important. Every hardship strengthened me. Every obstacle prepared me. So when life knocks you down, and it will sometimes, get back up. When somebody tells you you can't, prove them wrong. When fear whispers in your ear, answer with faith. And whenever and whatever you do, never stop believing that your life has purpose. Class of 2026, your assignment now is bigger than earning a paycheck. Your assignment is to leave this world better than you found it. Remember this, service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. And as my friend, the late, great Congressman John Lewis reminds us, get into good trouble. Congratulations, graduate. Now is the time to make your mark and continue building from this point. While this is a graduation, it's truly just the beginning. God bless.
And assist in inducting and welcoming the class of 2026 into the Alumni Association. Graduates, it is my privilege to officially induct you into the Southern University at New Orleans Alumni Association. May I press upon you the importance of active membership in the association. I know you will not forget SUNO, for it's here that you gain your foundation for your future success. Graduates, please stand as I read the oath of allegiance. We, the members of the graduating class of 2026 of Southern University at New Orleans, acknowledge that we have an obligation to our alma mater. Let me repeat that again. We have an obligation to our alma mater.
It is our responsibility to do all in our power to ensure continued progress of the institution, which has tenderly nurtured us during our stay here. We have an obligation to society through relationships in the social and economic life of our nation. We shall endeavor to conduct ourselves in the best possible manner at all times. Therefore, we pledge to you, Southern University at New Orleans, our loyalty. Graduates, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. An alumnus of Southern University at New Orleans, do hereby pledge allegiance to Southern University at New Orleans Alumni Association, and the great and honor institution will represent our promise to remain loyal, faithful, and steadfast in my support of its programs, to hold high its principle, to maintain its tradition, and to defend its honor. So help me God. Class of 2026, by the power invested in me as the president of Southern University at New Orleans Alumni Association, I hereby officially grant you membership. Congratulations and welcome to the association. Best wishes, and you may be seated.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Eyes on me. Thank you, Ms. Crawford, for that. And welcome to our newest alumni members of the Southern University at New Orleans Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, Southern University at New Orleans is one of 5 campuses. You may sit down. You may have your seat. Please be seated. We're almost done. Southern University at New Orleans, have your attention, we're almost done. Southern University at New Orleans is one of 5 campuses in the Southern University system. And as a system, we are the only system, HBCU system in the world. We have a governing body, Southern University Board of Supervisors. And I'd like to call up now Board Member Edwin Shorty, who would like to say a few words to our graduates and also acknowledge a few of our dignitaries. Board Member Shorty.
Good afternoon, graduates. As a 1999 Southern University at New Orleans graduate, it is my honor and privilege to bring you greetings, not only on behalf of our interim president, Orlando McMeans, but on behalf of the entire Southern University Board of Supervisors. I'm also joined today by fellow members Quincy Cawthorn and Maple Gaines. On behalf of the system, I would also like to acknowledge a few of our elected officials who've come to join us this afternoon. Our newly sworn-in Sheriff, Michelle Woodfork. Our newly elected State Senator, Sidney Bartholomew. I saw our school board member, Katrina Griffin, a little bit earlier. There she is over there. What I would like to impart to you on behalf of our system is that none of you sitting before me, just like none of the individuals on this stage, got to where they are by themselves. It was by the grace of God that we all sit where we sit. It was by the grace of God that we all have climbed the ladder of achievement. I want you to remember that because it is incumbent upon you to plant trees, the shade of which you will never sit under, because someone planted a tree whose shade you now sit under. Reach back. Remember why we are here. Remember the mission of an HBCU. Not just this HBCU, not just our system, but every HBCU. It is incumbent upon you to help those who come behind you, just like the family and friends who join you today have helped you get to where you are. Our system wishes you the best. We want you to achieve. We want you to give back. And as the Chief Justice said, remember what is going on. Watch, be engaged. There are people trying to take away every right that we have every day. And just yesterday in the state capitol, you saw folks trying to take away every right that we have. Don't let anyone turn back the clock. That is your mission. That is incumbent upon you. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Board Member Shardy. Before I give my closing message, I'd like to acknowledge a few people because this moment would not have been possible if it not were for the following people. I'd first like to give acknowledgement to my executive cabinet. Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Bree Cook. Vice Chancellor for Institutional Advancement, Ms. Rachel Rocher. Vice Chancellor for Research, Strategic Initiatives, and Executive Director of Title III Programs, the Woman King, Dr. Brenda Jackson. Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management and Student Success, Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, Mr. Julian Winthrop. And my Chief of Staff, Dr. Sharon Smith, who unfortunately couldn't be here. She had an injury, injured her ankle, and so she's recuperating. I also want to mention a few folk who sort of work behind the scenes, but there are a few marshals I want to recognize. First, the University Marshal. Former Chancellor and Professor of Biology, Dr. Lisa Mims-Devazan. Faculty Marshal, Dr. Demenkia Morgan, Assistant Professor of Social Work, and she's standing in today for Faculty Senate President and Associate Professor of Forensic Science, Dr. Miko Thompson. I also would like to mention two former chancellors, Dr. Upolo and Dr. Amos, who are also faculty members. But I've saved the best for last. The most important family members in the institution are you, the students. But second to you is our great faculty. I want to say to you and to this public who may not know that the Southern University at New Orleans faculty is second to none in this nation. 80% of our faculty persons hold a terminal degree, the PhD. That's unprecedented in post-sec. So please give our faculty a round of applause. Faculty, would you please stand? Thank you very much. Without you, we could not do what we have achieved today. I also want to acknowledge who could not be here, and she sends her regrets, is my wife, who's also a SUNO alum. She sends congratulations to the graduates. To you, the graduates. At this time of the year, today is not just a ceremony. It is a celebration of your resilience, your sacrifice, your determination, and your struggle. Nothing prevented you from reaching this particular point in your life. Yet you refused to quit, and because of that, today you stand as graduates of Southern University at New Orleans. As Chancellor, I want you to remember, your degree is not just simply a credential. As has been said before, it is a responsibility. Given the times we are now facing, we are depending on you to take control and change the direction of this city, this state, and this nation. We want you to carry the legacy of SUNO with pride, lead with integrity, and never underestimate the power of your voice or the impact of your service. Wherever lives take you and whatever your next steps will be, know that this faculty, staff, alumni, and entire SUNO family congratulate and celebrate your achievement. We want you to go forward boldly. We want you to go forward with purpose and go forward knowing that your best days are ahead of you. But before you go, I want you to join me, and as an alumnus, join me in the SUNO rally cry. I am, because SUNO is. We are, because SUNO is. SUNO yesterday, SUNO today, and SUNO forever. God bless you and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, this now concludes the 2026 Spring Commencement of Southern University at New Orleans. And we ask that you please remain in place until the recessional is complete. To begin our recessional, please welcome SUNO alumnus, the 2026 King Zulu, Dr. Ron Tassin, who will serve as our Grand Marshal for this year's second line, joined by the Tidal Wave Brass Band, the Downtown Indians Tribe, and Zulu Tramps. One moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. Keep that going just for a second. Hold up for a minute. We forgot one extremely important thing right before that. Singing of our alma mater. Will please everybody rise? Alma mater will be led by Miss Angela Gilbert Mercandale, class of 2019. Invocation by Dr. Reverend Fred Luter Jr.
Father, we're so incredibly grateful for this incredible day. Thank you for the opportunity to honor these graduates, 2026 class of Southern University of New Orleans. Thank you again for Chancellor Boyd, for the faculty, for the staff, and especially for all of these graduates, God. Bless them in their future endeavors. Challenge them to do something to change our city, our community, and our country. Thank you for all the parents and the family that's here. And we give you all the praise, the glory, and the honor in Jesus' name. Amen.
And we want to wish all of the mothers a happy Mother's Day. Let it begin. As the stage clears, then students follow behind.